Hello everybody. My name is Dr. Bhavna Singh. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of History, JLA College, Nilambar Pitambara University, Jharkhand. The topic of my discussion is the reflection on the letter written by Abraham Lincoln to the teacher of his son. This letter is a timeless piece of work written by one of the greatest leaders of his time. Though it was written in 19th century, but it carries few very valuable lessons that is applicable not only for children, but for every individual to lead a meaningful life. The heart of this letter deals with the deep understanding of Lincoln towards a life. Lincoln says that life is not always fair to us. Life is not always kind to us. Success is not always easy to us. But what makes this letter more special is that he wants his son to understand these harsh realities and not to escape these realities, but to embrace it with full grace, honesty, and dignity. There are numerous key lessons that I learned from this letter. The first one would be the power of positivity amid negativity. Lincoln says he acknowledges that the world is full of cheats, bullies, and scoundrels. But he also says that for every scoundrel, there is a hero. For every selfish leader, there is a dedicated leader. For every enemy, there is a true friend. So what matters the most is to be unbothered by the negativities of life and to do good and to move towards goodness. Another piece of lesson that I learned from this letter is the value of inner strength and independent thinking. He wants his son to have the self-confidence in him to stand by his decision even when the world is against it. The self-confidence and the inner strength makes you stand out of the crowd. So he wants to give this piece of advice to his son to always have self-realization and always have the self-confidence to stand by his decision. Another important lesson that I learned from this letter is the importance of simplicity and nature. Abraham advises the teacher of his son to teach him the importance of nature, to enjoy the nature, the birds, the trees, the forest, and everything. He also wants him to teach that life is not always about wealth and fame, but it is always about appreciating small things that bring huge difference in life. So another piece of lesson that I learned from this letter is the dignity of honesty and hard work. Abraham Lincoln says that it is okay to fail than to cheat. He teaches the teacher of his son to teach him that it is fine to sell your skill and brains to the highest bidders of the world, but it is not okay to sell your inner core life or core soul to anybody. It is not okay to sell your inner self to anyone. So it is fine to be applicable to the world, but it is also important to have your dignity in this world to make a better personality. Abraham also teaches him the balance between greatness and toughness. It is not always about being aggressive or always about being strong, but one should know where to be strong, where to be gentle. One should know where to be soft, where to be tough. It is very important for a person to learn the circumstances where to be strong and tough, because for life, both compassion and courage is important. So this is a very important lesson which is taught by Abraham Lincoln to his son through his letter addressed to the teacher of his son. A very important lesson that I learned from this letter is emotional strength. Abraham says that it is okay to be sad, but it is important to smile when sad. It is okay to cry in front of the world without any shame. When in the world where people are hiding their emotions, one should have the courage to express their emotions wholeheartedly with full honesty, because it doesn't make a person weak. Rather, it gives a humongous courage. It takes a humongous courage for oneself to express them openly in front of the world. So this is very important lesson that I learned from this letter. Another very important lesson that I learned is faith in humanity and oneself. Abraham believes that it is important to first believe in oneself. This gives us the confidence to believe in mankind. This gives us confidence to believe in others. So first, self-realization and self-belief is important in order to believe in mankind. So, this letter is not just a piece of advice by Abraham Lincoln to his son, rather, it is a blueprint to lead a meaningful life. What I personally learned from this letter is that life is never going to be kind to us. Success is never coming easily to us. Life is never going to be fair to us. But what is more important is to be unbothered by the negativities of life, to be unbothered by the obstacles of life, and rather keep moving forward with full dignity and honesty. Rather embrace the realities, the harsh realities of life with wholeheartedness and with open heart. So if we learn even the half of Lincoln's advice, we would not only be better individuals, but we would create a better world for people to live. So this is the central message which was carried by the letter written by Abraham Lincoln to the teacher of his son. So through this piece of letter, he wanted to give such a few highly valuable lessons of the life, which was not only applicable for his son, but it is also relevant for us in today's world. Thank you, everyone.